Gentlemen, welcome to the final video in my four-part series on building a plan to slow, stop, or even reverse the aging process. Hopefully, if you've made it this far, you're starting to get a handle on that action plan. If you haven't watched the first three videos, I've put a link to them in the description below. In this series, I break down the process for building a plan by identifying the four components to that plan, as optimizing your hormone health, losing weight, eating good food to support that plan, and exercising. And I've covered in detail the first three elements of that plan in my first three videos. In this video, I'll be talking about the final component to that plan, exercise, about how you can exercise less but accomplish more, about how your metabolic rate is linked to exercise, the types of exercise, and the benefits of exercise. I also talk about some of the strategies that you can employ to improve the secondary elements of that plan, your mental cognition, your erectile dysfunction, your skin and joint health. Okay, let's talk about exercise, the thing that everyone who's not doing it hates. If you want to lose weight, if you want to get fit and into the best shape of your life, you need to be working out on a regular, if not daily basis. But here's the good news about exercise. A lot of research has gone into this field in recent years, and the results of that research shows that more is not necessarily better. Gone are the days of having to spend hours and hours and hours of time in the gym. Research has shown that how you work out is much more important than how long you work out. Short, intense bursts of exercise produce much better results than long periods of lower, medium intensity exercise. And this is true regardless of whether you're working out to improve your cardiovascular health or whether you're trying to pack on more muscle. So back on the subject of losing weight. Losing weight at its most basic is a matter of burning more calories than you consume on a daily basis. If you add up all the calories that you eat over a day and you put that in one column, and then you add up all the calories that you burn through all your activity for that day, and you put that in the second column should be larger than the first by about 300 to 500 calories if you're trying to lose weight. If you're trying to gain muscle mass, then the first column should be larger than the second column by about 1,000 calories. So how do you know how many calories you burn? Well, you start with something called your basal metabolic rate, or BMR. Your BMR is a number of calories that you burn when at rest. And it's based on things like your gender, your age, your weight, your height, and your muscle mass. Then add to that the number of calories that you burn throughout the day based on your activity level. And that will give you an approximation of how many calories you're burning each day. Now, I've added a couple of links in the description to some of the popular online BMR calculators. Now, working out helps with losing weight in a couple of different ways. First, any exercise that you do in a single day will raise your activity level for that day. If you consume 1,700 calories a day, but you only burn 1,500 calories a day, that's a surplus of 200 calories, and you're going to gain weight. But if you do a workout that burns an additional 700 calories, suddenly you're in a 500 calorie deficit for the day, and you're going to lose weight. But working out helps you lose weight in another way. A major factor in how many calories your metabolism burns is the amount of muscle mass that you're carrying. Your muscle mass accounts for 30% of your metabolism. The more muscle, the more calories your muscles or your metabolism burns, regardless of whether you're at rest or engaged in an activity. And working out, particularly some forms of resistance training, builds muscle. As you create new muscle mass, your metabolic rate goes up, burning more calories throughout the day in everything that you do, even while sleeping. However, it's not a huge monumental gain. Remember that your muscle mass only accounts for about 30% of your metabolism. So a 3% increase in muscle mass will result in about a 1% increase in metabolism, but it's a permanent increase in your metabolism. Now, it's not just building new muscle that can increase your metabolism. Doing a workout, particularly a high-intensity interval training workout, can burn more calories, not just while you're doing the workout, but for anywhere from 2 hours up to 2 days after you finish the workout, depending on the type of workout that you do. Now, this type of boost in your metabolism is temporary. It will eventually return to normal. However, if you work out on a regular and consistent basis, you can keep that effect ongoing, essentially turning it into a permanent effect. And this boost in your metabolism will be much greater than the one that you get from building new muscle. Okay, so in order to lose weight, you need to be doing both resistance training as well as cardio. But the benefits that you gain from exercise go far beyond simply losing weight. First off, you see major improvements in your strength, your endurance, and your flexibility. But it can also increase your bone density. It can reduce your risk for chronic diseases. It can increase your energy levels and improve your mood. It can improve your skin health and boost your cognitive functions, improving memory and focus. So, if you optimize your hormone health and decide to lose weight through nutrition and exercise, you will have taken a major step in turning back the clock on aging. But you can do even more. Now, as I mentioned earlier, there are secondary components to any man's plan to turn back the clock. Once you've got a handle on the primary issues, you can address those secondary issues. Issues like ED, cognitive function, skin care, and joint health. And here's the thing. Many of the things that you can do to improve these issues are already being done by addressing the primary issues. Cognitive function can be improved by boosting your T levels and by working out. Optimizing your hormones, losing weight, eating right, working out, all of them and each of them can have a dramatic impact on your erectile dysfunction. Your skin health and your joint health can be improved by boosting your T levels, by eating right, and by working out. But there are other things that you can do beyond the primary four that can improve these secondary conditions. There are supplements called nootropics that you can take that will improve your mental cognition, memory, and focus. There are supplements as well as medications that will improve your erectile dysfunction beyond what the primary four can affect. There are supplements that you can take that will improve your skin health from the inside, skincare products that will improve it from the outside, as well as exercises that can strengthen the underlying structures of your skin. And there are supplements that can improve your joint health. So, as you can see, any plan that any man puts together to turn back the clock on aging will, by necessity, be a rather complex one and will most likely take a while to execute. Now, I've put together my own plan by starting with those methods that will have the broadest and most overall effect, and finishing with those methods that will only have an effect on a single issue. And yeah, it's taken quite a while to put everything into practice. In fact, I'm not actually there yet. There are practices that I have not yet tackled. In the practice of instilling one new habit at a time, there are habits that are not yet fully formed and that prevent me from moving on to the next thing. But I'll get there. Of that, I have no doubt. And if you're a subscriber to this channel, you'll get to watch me do it. So there you have it. All the elements of an action plan to turn back the clock on aging. So this is the what you need to do part of the plan. For the how you need to do it part, I've posted numerous videos on most of these subjects with strategies for how to achieve each element. And I'll be posting a lot more in the future. If you enjoyed this video, then please subscribe to my channel, share it with your friends and on your social media, hit the like button and leave a comment. And be sure to hit the bell to be notified when I post a new video, which should be every Tuesday, with bonus videos on the occasional Friday. And as always, thank you so much for watching.